Hey guys, well, it's that time again, and last night the second episode of season 3 rather, aired of The Walking Dead, and well, as I said, I was going to try to review each episode this season, so here we are, second attempt at it. So last night, like I said, episode 2 aired. This episode was called Sickness, or Sick rather, yeah, it was called Sick. And pretty much though, this whole episode pretty much kind of dealt with two issues, and that was is Herschel gonna make it, and the prisoners that they found during at the end of the last episode. At the end of pretty much at the end of the last episode, a group of prisoners suddenly popped up in the cafeteria, and so this episode, they pretty much unlocked the door that was locked them inside the part of the cafeteria they were in the old the kitchen area. One of them turns out to be Axel, who's a character from the comics, but I think this is going to be a case where the representation of him is going to be a little bit different in this show, because apparently from what I've read in the comics, he's more of a biker type. And he doesn't really look like the biker type in the episode, I don't think. But anyway, pretty much the whole episode kind of dealt with those two plot points: the prisoners, and is Herschel gonna make it after being bit and have his leg amputated? Pretty much most of the episode with Herschel was basically him in one of the cells on the bed and pretty much being watched by at least one of the characters. With the prisoners, it was kind of, they were just some of it was just kind of them talking about what's happened since it all started, and Rick and the group trying to work with them with the group of prisoners. At one point in the episode, we kind of get an actual time frame since how long it's been since the beginning. It's been, according to one of the prisoners, when all this started going down, one of the guards locked him in the kitchen area of the cafeteria, and one of them said, pretty much they say it's been 10 months since that happened. So it's been nearly a year since the beginning of the series. So yeah, pretty much though. I really don't have a whole lot to say about the episode. I mean, I enjoyed it. Rick, I think, is starting to kind of move away from that. He's starting to get to the point where he's going to do what's necessary to protect the group. Because one of the prisoners, the lead prisoner, pretty much clearly demonstrated that not only was he not really going to try to work with Rick and the group, but he would be very willing to purposely put them in danger. He wasn't a workable person, we'll say, and Rick pretty much dealt with him immediately. Probably, I think a lot of people would say it's probably one of the best scenes in the episode. I'm not going to say what happens to the prisoner, but then Rick ends up pretty much locking one of the other prisoners out with outside in one of the areas that still has zombies in it. Pretty much locks him out, lets the zombies eat him. So yeah, I mean, Rick's starting to become a very active, proactive person, we'll say. None of this, taking 5 episodes to debate what we're gonna do with him. Thank goodness. Not like with a certain storyline last season where they were arguing what to do with him, then they just killed him anyway. Anyway, though, there was one moment I liked, because it was almost kind of like a jump scare kind of thing where at one point Herschel stops breathing and Laurie starts giving him CPR, and what happens is, I mean, they kind of make you think Herschel turns into a zombie while Laurie's giving him CPR, and that he pretty much attacks her while she's doing it, and he's basically chewing off half her face. But it was kind of like a reflex, though. It turns out it wasn't. It was just like a little reflex, and yeah. I just kind of liked that moment. Carl is still doing Carl things, like somehow managing to run off with no one noticing that he's missing. I still hate that character. I'm not gonna lie. I still hate Carl. Um, yeah, I honestly wouldn't mind if the little. I honestly wouldn't mind if the little. Well, I was gonna say something very crude, but I'm not. Let me rephrase what I was about to say. I wouldn't mind if the waste would just get ripped apart by a horde of zombies. I honestly wouldn't miss Carl if that happened. Let me just say that. My opinion isn't so easily swayed by an episode or two like some people. But I mean, I'll give him a chance though. You never know. Um, really no big issues in this episode from like a goof point of view or dumb happenings or whatever. Although there were two things though that I kind of noticed about the prisoners. One of these two things they actually addressed and resolved, but I got to thinking when I was looking at the prisoners, they were trapped in that little cafeteria area for 10 months, for almost a year. You know, they were number one was they were oddly extremely well groomed. I mean, very well groomed. You know, for somebody to have been trapped in a little area for 10 months. I mean, it must have been some sharp knives or something. I don't know. Number two was how should I put this? I got to wondering how they went to the bathroom. You know, but that was resolved though because they pretty much show that they went inside the freezer. So I mean, at least they addressed that much. But there was another goof in the episode that I actually didn't notice this, or I really didn't think about it until somebody pointed it out. That like what happened to all the zombies in the hallway? You know, when they rushed into the cafeteria. So somebody like pointed out like most of the zombies had like mysteriously disappeared. So I don't know. Yeah, who knows what happened to them? Maybe they got bored and left. So anyway, I really don't have much to say about this episode. Other than I will say, I mean, if the rest of the season continues on like these past two episodes, I think this is going to be a pretty good season. Probably a lot better than season 2. As long as they continue on like they've done these past 2 episodes. We still haven't seen the governor or Woodbury yet, so maybe I think they're going to be introducing them next episode though. And one cool thing is too that I forgot to mention in my last review that apparently Merle is actually returning this season, so that'll be pretty cool to see him again. And actually, Actually, he may have appeared at the end of episode 2 last night because last night at the end of the episode, Carol was practicing performing a C-section on a dead female zombie. Since Herschel clearly wouldn't be able to do it in his condition, while she's cutting the zombie, we see we don't see the person, but we see Carol from that person's point of view, and it's clearly a person watching her. So a lot of people think that's probably going to be Merle, which I suspect it will be because he is popping up this season again. So that would be pretty cool to see what he's been up to, like what happens with him and Daryl. Because he just randomly disappeared. Well, not randomly, but he just disappeared during season 1 and hasn't been seen since. So yeah, that'll be interesting. So rating wise, I probably would give this episode, I would say 7.5 to 8 out of 10. It was pretty good. So I guess, like I said, I really don't have much to say about this episode. So I guess that's going to be about it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.